Hello again. Welcome to another edition of the Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. Thank you very much for being here. I'm Norm Waymer. This is Big John Malkowski. This is Marty Bin. And we'll take you through the next half hour. And unfortunately, we can't talk Ohio State, Michigan because this was taped before that game. So, how are you guys?
Good.
Speak.
It's been a great couple weeks.
Speak.
Got some deer hunting in. Produce some results.
That's always good.
The larder will be full for the winter. That's all I'll say.
See, I shot up a picture of a couple of deer out in front of my house, which I didn't shoot them.
I said I can come over and help you with that problem. I still can.
I don't think you can in the neighborhood. I don't think that's a good idea. But
It's frowned upon.
Better than everything else everybody shoots at.
wow. All right.
And Big John has torn the Band-Aid off on tonight's show. Okay, it's on.
All right, let's hop to the NFL. Take a look back in the week that was, in Week 11. By the way, too, if you didn't catch the games on Thursday, you probably missed out on good football for the weekend. But let's getting back to a couple of things we were addressing last week. First of all, because I said that I caught flack at least from you, which I always do anyway, about really there's not that much difference between teams in the NFL, and then the Lions go out and beat Carolina.
So apparently the Lions are like Rain Man. They are idiot savants. They can beat really good teams, and they can't beat anybody else.
They won
or
four
something.
games. They beat New England, beat Carolina. Of course, they lost to the Jets.
Please explain the whole thing to me.
So I said there's not that much difference between teams in the NFL.
Well, okay, I didn't understand the going for two-part. If you're Carolina, you're the better team, why are you going to put it on one play to win a game like that?
And by the way, if Cam Newton steps through the throw instead of throws it off his back foot, he probably doesn't sail it a foot and a half over the guy's head, and it looks like a genius move, and we're not sitting here talking about it, but I'm totally with you. It was a stupid move.
Because, I mean, last week you had Ohio State and Maryland, which Maryland went for two.
And that guy was wide open.
And he was. I don't know
how you miss that.
Why you run a pass play when your quarterback can't throw the ball, but that's another story.
John Cooper's the answer to that trivia question. You put the running quarterback in and run a pass play. You put the throwing quarterback in and run an option.
I remember the Stanley Jackson.
Joe Germain years? Yes. I'm sure you remember them way more fondly than I do.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But, you had two different examples there because Maryland's the underdog. And while I still wasn't in favor of it just because they were moving the ball up and down. You would just score it on one play. Why go for two there either? But I understand it more because you're the underdog.
Because we had talked about that, and I had said there was probably a bigger chance of Ohio State turning it over.
Exactly.
than there was Ohio State stopping them defensively.
Neither defense could stop either offense. No. Why don't you just keep going? You're going to score.
It looked like a Big 12 game.
And then you get Carolina, who is favored on against the Lions, and they go for. I didn't understand either of them really. I'm not a fan unless you're a big underdog, and this is the only way you're just getting physically dominated, but you have that chance.
Or something's happened with your kicker, your long snapper. I mean, there are examples where I think you say, I got it, or you're down two linemen and it's
right.
It's you're putting together a baling wire and electric tape and duct tape,
and
you're trying to figure right. It's whatever outcome it's going to be. Let's just decide it right here and end it. But neither of those seem to be the circumstance. So I don't get it.
Or the Ohio State Maryland game looked like last Monday night's game.
Yes.
The Rams and the Chiefs. If we wanted the USFL, we should have just kept it.
See, I'm not sure I think that's entirely fair because the defenses did show up. The problem is the defensive stops were scores, so the ball was right back in the offense.
Plus it was putting points on the scoreboard.
But on top of that, it's 8 seconds in a score or 6 seconds in a score, and then an offense gets the ball right back. So when you see those gaudy offensive numbers, I'm not sure it was entirely as ridiculous as we look at it when you look at the score. I understand it.
I'm sorry, 11 touchdown passes in the game is ridiculous.
I don't know, those are two really good offenses. And the thing that I love, and I've been saying this for years, I love out-of-the-box, wacky, creative the screen pass to Kareem Hunt, the scheme on that play. If I was a defensive coordinator, I would be upstairs throwing crap at the booth wall, slamming the clipboard down and going, I don't know how you defend that, because I don't.
And both teams ran a tight end screen. How often do you see a tight end screen?
To those tight ends. Well, Kelsey's different. But yes, okay.
Good,
but to the other tight end,
I didn't even know who the Rams tight end was.
Correct.
But they're running tight end screens into the middle of the field, and they're going for yards.
You asked me earlier what I want to talk about, and I guess I'd open this to the floor.
Well, before are you going to jump from this game or no?
No, I'm going to say on that
okay,
game.
go ahead. All right. I
think we saw a preview of two really great teams who were fun to watch. Again, if we want to call it USFL, that's fine. But whatever you say, it was fun to watch. Because if you didn't enjoy that game, well, okay, you can be the old get off my porch, get off my lawn guy. You could be Walt Kowalski, the football fan, and that's fine. But I'm telling you, I had a good time watching that game and stayed up for the whole thing, which I almost never do with those late ones. But Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff are not yet ready to win Super Bowl quarterbacks. Because the turnovers they allowed to happen, the times they held the ball, and the way they held the ball in the playoffs will bite you. And I will say that now. Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Roethlisberger and quarterbacks like that don't do that in big games late in the season when it matters. And I think we saw a preview of what will bite both of them. They will not be the Super Bowl teams. I'm prepared to say that.
The one that I think stood out more to me was Mahomes right at the end of the game. Because, I mean, especially that last interception. That guy wasn't open. There were three defenders around him, and he was just chucking it. And you're only down a field goal. I mean, that's all. All you had to do was drive down. You didn't have to go for broke. And that one and the interception that was returned for a touchdown. He didn't move his feet on that throw. He just flat-footed it and just used his arm. And that's the kind of stuff that you can get away with that in college.
Mahomes is Brett Favre. I mean, they're the same type of player.
Yeah, you're gonna go wow.
He's gonna force a couple in there where you don't think he should, and he'll get away with it, and then he'll do something.
Fun to watch,
stupid.
Hard to win, and you got to get more breaks. But I think,
although what you just said about the Super Bowl, they both ran up over 50 points in the game.
All I'm saying is, in a big game when it matters against,
you have to keep up with that. I mean, you got to figure, if you're going to beat either team, you got to figure out a way to keep up with their offense.
Well, and that's the thing. Kansas City turned the ball over 5 times and still scored 50 points. I mean, that's hard to do.
I thought this was funny on a side note. The over and under that was 65, which was the highest over and under Vegas had ever set for an NFL game, and they blew past it
in the third quarter.
Yeah, it wasn't
even. It was 105 between the two.
And another big, huge loss day for Vegas because all the money was on the over.
It didn't phase anybody that was wagering in Vegas.
No, I was not paying attention last week. If I'd have seen that line, I'd have bet the over.
I think 69% of the people or something like that were on the over in Vegas.
It was a big L for Vegas.
Yes. That's right. Yes. All right. We do have to take a time out. We'll talk more about the NFL last week and this week coming up, and we'll do it when we come back. It's Front Row Roundtable Show presented by Ralphie's.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
At Ralphie's, it's primetime football every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday nights. Enjoy endless wings starting at 8 p.m. each night and carry-out specials every day. Plus special pricing on all Labatt products, plus new craft and IPAs for the fall. As always, beer buckets only $10 Friday and Saturday.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Mortgage Marty here. We hear every day here at Fairway how tight the housing market is, how there's just so few great homes out there. And I want to remind everybody, we have a fantastic suite of renovation products. They are basically designed where you can buy a house, borrow extra money over and above the sale price, get contractors lined up, and we pay them after closing. So the work is done after closing. You get to pick who you're going to use, and you can buy that house, fix it up, and create what you want. With as tight as the market is right now, in fact, I have probably a half a dozen customers who are to the point where they're so frustrated they're about to give up. So just think renovation loan.
It's Notorious November as Powerbomb Wrestling is back in action in Toledo on Sunday, November the 25th, 5 p.m. at St. Clements Hall, 2990 from Mainsville Road. Former friends, former tag partners, the amazing Nate Batson and the Bachelor Ben Boone, battle for the PBW World Championship. 3 more title matches on the card, including you'll see Madman Fulton and Queen Amanada. It comes your way Sunday, November the 25th, St. Clements Hall. It's Powerbomb Wrestling. Welcome back from our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. And don't forget, half-price appetizers anytime after 9 o'clock at Ralphie's. If you're not full enough from Thanksgiving, there's all-you-can-eat wing specials on Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night at your area Ralphie's. All right.
Or if Mom's turkey was dry, you can go there and fill up on non-chalky tryptophan. What?
Nothing. I was seeing where you're going.
Look, tryptophan's like a standing joke at our family gathering on Thanksgiving. It's like, who can stay up past halftime of the Cowboys game?
yeah.
It's an annual,
Oh, you mean that team that was circling the drain, according to you last week?
Still circling the drain.
Really?
That's now
They're
gonna win-
they're a
that's now
game
gonna
out of
win the
first, I
division.
believe, and
let me
going into this week's
wait.
games.
Let me call a timeout. Not the Andy Reid tip ball timeout, but an official timeout.
And we taped this before Thursday's game, so if they beat Washington Thursday, they would be in first place.
Correct, and that's fine. And by the way, they would
we
be
don't know.
also
We
then
taped it before the
undefeated
holiday.
since they traded for Amari Cooper. But that's another sidebar we probably shouldn't change.
Oh yeah, his big 3 catches for 30-some yards last week definitely made the difference.
Well, he's keeping the defense honest. Just giving you the Jerry line, whatever that. Okay, so wait. So
we'll enjoy the first pick. So.
do any?
I said we, didn't I?
Yes, you did, and I was going to let it go, but thank you for.
It's okay.
So does anyone at this table and anyone watching, including delusional Cowboy fans, believe, even delusional Redskins fans, and absolutely including delusional Eagles fans, believe that whoever wins that division isn't a one-and-done playoff team? Like you're going to make the playoffs if
Doesn't
you win the
matter.
division, and you're going to get stomped like a narc in a
Would you
biker
rather
rally.
get there or not get there?
I don't care, because after 20 years of absolute embarrassment
Yes,
where
you
you
do.
go there
They
and
might
don't
actually
win
be
it.
able to win one.
No.
Because you're going to play the third best, or the other, well, you're going to play a wild card, actually.
As Tommy Lasorda once said, I'd rather get them on and not get them in than not get them on and not get them in.
No. I'm tired of this. I either be relevant or go home.
Get to get to hang a banner. Well, you think like there's only 3 good teams in the NFL and everybody else stinks, so
There's like 4 or
you always
5.
go like, well, they
and-
stink, well, they stink, well, they stink.
They do.
Well, they stink. No, they don't.
They do.
And
Yes,
this
they do.
This will get Jason Garrett a contract extension.
I got to take a timeout, and I'm going to put my head down while I gather my thoughts
Ooh,
and try
yeah,
and
5 more years.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Get the team to the playoffs again. I mean,
John's trying to make me angry, and I'm not going to take the bait. I refuse to get angry because that could happen, and then Jerry would be vindicated for keeping him around this long because
Well,
they
of
won a
course.
division at 9-7 because the division's
If
awful.
that, you know.
The division's awful. Can we say it? They're awful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, by the way, what happened to the Philadelphia could win 5 or 6 Super Bowls with this dynasty, with their cap room and everything else? Apparently, winning doesn't motivate you like not winning. Because
they always say it's hardest to repeat because once you've got that, you got the championship.
Yeah, but they're playing the season like the usual Super Bowl loser plays, right? Because the usual Super Bowl loser goes in the toilet the year
Yeah.
after, and they're not circling the drain, they're going down with a flush because they're bad.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in Cleveland, we might be saying hi to head coach Rice. No, not Jerry Rice. Okay, no, not like a descendant of Grantland Rice. We're talking Condoleezza Rice.
Look, Browns fans, I pick on you all. At some point
We
in
got
time,
here to tape. Marty goes, is this story really true?
Oh, here's the thing. I thought to myself when I first read it this morning, I thought, this can only happen in Cleveland.
This morning, it came out Sunday.
Okay, well, that's how long I didn't pay attention. I probably looked at it and thought, no, that's a
He
meme.
was in a deer blind again.
It was not even that. It's just, I still don't believe it. And I think to myself, that's the life of a Browns fan. So God bless all of you, because your life is filled with having to read stories that you might interview Condoleezza Rice as the head coach of a National League football team.
When I
That
first
makes
saw it,
Bobby Jinks getting hired at Bowling Green look genius.
you mean Mike Jinks.
Mike Jinks, sorry, yes.
He's so
Don't
good,
even
you
know his
don't
name.
even know who he is. When I first saw it, I had to check
Why
and
are
see.
you cringing? He was a high school coach from Texas. It was a bad idea, and it didn't work.
It was a bad idea.
Okay. This would be a way worse idea.
Oh, yeah.
And only the Haslams could concoct that.
I actually thought it was from the Onion. I had to double check my source
Thank
I was
you.
reading from.
So God bless you all, Browns fans, and good luck.
It's one thing to bring her in as a front office person, as a,
Consultant.
something non-on-field related. But to think that she can come on the field and have any kind of, I mean, I'm sure she's a smart, wonderful person.
Here's the bigger question. Would she be the worst coach ever hired?
No. Absolutely not. Not even in the top 5. I mean, there's some Schottenheimers in there, and never mind.
Well,
I mean, Hugh Jackson's
first
got to be in the top
Schottenheimer
3 or
was
4.
fine.
The first Schottenheimer was a real coach, but the second one, no, not so much.
Oh, and by the way, too, the team you were maligning last week, too, Houston won again. And it
Still
won 7 in a
maligning
row.
them.
And I'll give you another stat. Only the second team ever to lose their first 3 games of the season and win 7 in a row.
Who was the other?
The 1925 New York Giants.
Wow.
So see, this happens every day.
Don't care. Still not going to the Super Bowl, still irrelevant, still in that second tier of not really relevant long-term teams. Sorry, just a fact.
No, it's just your opinion. We don't know if it's fact till we get to the playoffs.
We'll take any of you that like to wager any of these. I'll give you the field against the 6
I've
or
heard
7
this
teams
again.
I
This is
picked.
from the guy where Dallas was circling the drain.
This is from the guy that if Cleveland wins 6 games has to mow his own grass and pay some young man's tuition next year. So let's just hope that my grass is, neat and clean all year and not at my expense. And by the way, the Lions are still awful.
Yes,
Just to cover all the local
even with
bases.
the win over Carolina.
Still awful.
See, but tomorrow the Bengals are playing Cincinnati, so they very well could be 4-6-1.
Absolutely.
Now wait, say that again. The Bengals are playing in Cincinnati.
The Browns are
Browns.
playing the
Okay,
Bengals.
you said the Bengals are playing in
The Browns
Cincinnati.
are
You
playing the
confused even
Bengals.
me.
Well, the Bengals are playing in Cincinnati. They're playing Cleveland.
Yes. I'm starting to get.
Just to let you know.
I'm starting to really get nervous. Nick, stay in northern Michigan. Don't come home.
But like I say, I hope everybody watched football on Thursday because these are dogs. Jacksonville at Buffalo, New England at the Jets.
Wait.
The Giants
Blake
at the
Bortles
Eagles.
is still not a Super Bowl quarterback. I think I've been saying that for 2 years too.
The Giants at the Eagles. San Francisco at Tampa Bay. These are all big 1 o'clock mega match. See, this is why you need to go to the Powerbomb Wrestling
I was going to
Show.
say, it's a perfect week to go. to the Powerbomb.
yes.
Go tomorrow. Doors open at 4:15.
Uber
time at
over,
5.
get a cocktail. This is sounding better and better and better. Continue.
We have beer.
I heard that's what John was selling one before the show. He said they have adult beverages, and I was like, wait a minute.
And better entertainment than you're going to get here. I'm just saying.
Easily.
Yeah, you have not called a game that I even.
Oakland at Baltimore. Arizona at the Chargers. You do have Pittsburgh, Denver at 4 o'clock, which is and then Sunday night is Green Bay, Minnesota, which should be a good
Which is
game.
kind of
And
which
you'd
is
be home in time to see that after the wrestling show.
Right, and Monday night's Tennessee, Houston.
so that's like a play-in game for the wild card, is what you're saying. Because neither's catching Chicago.
Houston could put a stranglehold in that division. They win on Monday night.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Indianapolis is playing really well, though. Andrew Luck has been ridiculous.
Amazing what happens when his shoulder's healthy.
And
the line's not getting him knocked down every
hasn't
other
been
snap.
sacked in 5 games,
Yeah,
6 games,
but all
something
that
like
crap he was getting, he was trying to play with a bad shoulder.
And he was getting dialed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was
sure.
yes, I don't like getting hit either. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable.
All right, so we got to run to break. We'll come back and actually talk a little baseball when we come back. It is the Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
At Ralphie's, it's primetime football every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday nights. Enjoy endless wings starting at 8 p.m. each night and carry-out specials every day. Plus special pricing on all Labatt products, plus new craft and IPAs for the fall. As always, beer buckets only $10 Friday and Saturday.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Mortgage Marty here. We hear every day here at Fairway how tight the housing market is, how there's just so few great homes out there. And I want to remind everybody we have a fantastic suite of renovation products. They are basically designed where you can buy a house, borrow extra money over and above the sale price, get contractors lined up, and we pay them after closing. So the work is done after closing. You get to pick who you're going to use, and you can buy that house, fix it up, and create what you want. With as tight as the market is right now, in fact, I have probably a half a dozen customers who are to the point where they're so frustrated they're about to give up. So just think renovation loan.
It's Notorious November as Powerbomb Wrestling is back in action in Toledo on Sunday, November the 25th, 5 p.m. at St. Clemens Hall, 2990 Tremainsville Road. Former friends, former tag partners, the Amazing Nate Matson and the Bachelor Ben Boone battle for the PBW World Championship. 3 more title matches on the card, including you'll see Madman Fulton and Queen Aminata. It comes your way Sunday, November the 25th, St. Clemens Hall. It's Powerbomb Wrestling. And welcome back for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. Norm Waymer, Big John Milkowski, Marty Bin. All right, I know it's off season for baseball, but if the teams you're going to get in April start getting decided now. All right, so the first up, the Indians, which we were going to talk about, but it appears that just about anybody's available on this team.
Anybody but Ramirez and Lindor, which is scary.
So they're the Washington Wizards of the.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to do exactly. I mean, I understand you got a couple of 30-something starters now, and how good do you have to be to win that division in the first place? So eventually you're going to have to turn the talent over anyway. Is it right to do it now? I would probably wait another year. Right, but they may be doing that anyway.
But what's the? To me, this is like my NFL analogy that you hate and you get angry with me for. The gap between the big three and the AL and them is big enough already that if you can't close that gap, which I don't think you can, what are you going to do? And I think the reality is they're accepting that. And I'm not sure that's not genius. As much as the average fan doesn't like that, you'll go through turmoil and lose some of your favorite players. At some point in time, you have to accept that you're not ready to compete with the big boys and decide whether that's okay and you just muddle around in the middle or not.
It's only genius depending on what you get back.
Well, I was just going to say, if they do end up trading Corey Kluber, I hope they get a better return than what the Mariners got back for James Paxton, because that was not good.
I didn't think it was all that bad.
Yeah, see, this is going to be like 3 times tonight. I agree with Norm, so I may not make it through the night. But
Paxton just turned 30. He had 28 starts this past year, which was the most he's ever had in a season, which topped 24 previously. He's bought a home on the disabled list, I think. So you got their number 1 prospect, somebody who could go into the rotation as soon as this season coming up.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of people who don't think he'll be a long-term starter in the majors either because of his stuff and his lack of command.
Yeah, I think that Paxton may not be a long-term starter either based on his injury history, because one thing we do know about pitchers, if they get hurt a lot, they tend to keep getting hurt a lot. So, I don't know. We shall see. Now, if the Yankees win a World Series because Paxton wins 20 games because he's getting 6 or 7 runs scored for him a game, then that's another story. If they sign Bryce Harper, make him a first baseman, which they're talking about doing. I got a little discussion about the Tigers, whether they should trade Castellanos or not. And me, I'm like, trade.
Sell.
No, I'll agree with you there. I still think he's a good player, but if you can get a return on the market,
the point was somebody was trying to make is, do you have a player other than maybe Miguel Cabrera that you can, latch onto and say this is our hometown guy?
If you do, I don't see that.
No, so let's just go find one, because I don't think he's.
I don't get attached to that, so that's not
right. I mean, in the free agent, in this day and age in free agency, I don't think you can. Everybody leaves. Everybody plays for another team. I don't. If you're the kind who just roots for a team because they have my favorite player, well, you're going to eventually leave anyway because the player's either going to get traded or retire or whatever.
I'd like to thank Grinch Malkovich for showing up tonight.
He's usually here, trust me. We just don't get onto his subjects very often.
I know. I was like, wow, that was pretty Debbie Downer. I mean, it's okay to cheer for guys. It's okay to buy a jersey. Just, tape the name on with Velcro.
Well, yeah, just don't expect it 2 years from now to be relevant anymore.
The Hall of Fame ballot's out, and the whining will commence in January because there's going to be a lot of guys that should go, and it's not going to.
There's still, I mean, not only do you have the steroid guys, which I know we've discussed before, but
we'll never agree on that. Just put them in and get it over with.
Well, not right on that, but
I know.
You're right that we'll never agree.
Right, we're not going to agree. I just think just get it over with.
Marty doesn't believe in rules, so it's like, yeah.
They're more of guidelines. Well, but Major League Baseball was complicit in this, and so were all the owners. So what do you want to say? And there's people in that shouldn't be in that I think are on the suspect list as well. All I'm going to say is it was an entire era of cheating.
Complicit.
They knew. Everywhere. You
They
can't
weren't
look
allowed
at.
to test them, though.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't.
You could take the high road and just not sign them. You could cut them.
Well, but then it's collusion, and then you're losing anyway, because the owner's losing that every time that comes up, too.
So you're saying they were handcuffed and didn't like the home run chase and all that? Baloney. They were complicit.
Well, I don't think they didn't like it, but I mean, they tried for years to get the Players Association to agree to testing, and the Players Association was the one who kept denying it.
And I'm a big backer of the Players Association, but Donald Fear dug his heels in and wouldn't allow it to happen. And in essence, what he did was he didn't protect the players that didn't want to do the stuff.
Right, he protected the cheaters.
Right, which was flat out wrong.
Correct.
Last year on the ballot for Edgar Martinez and Fred McGriff. McGriff won't get in.
Should.
Martinez should, being at 70.4% last year, but that doesn't mean he will. First year guys on the ballot include Mariano Rivera, who's a no-brainer. I think
if he doesn't get in, what a crime.
I think Roy Halladay will probably get in.
You think he'll be a first? I don't know if he'll be a first ballot.
Yeah, I think that first ballot bias thing, they'll put him right on the cusp, but not quite there. Like they'll call all their buddies and be like, "Are you voting for him? Okay, well, if you're voting for him, I'm not voting for him."
Yeah,
they'll figure it out ahead of time.
I mean, Rivera should be a guy who challenges the record, the all-time percentage
yeah, but his
record.
WAR's not that good. You told me before the show.
Yeah,
Because he's a relief pitcher.
Well, exactly.
But he should.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he should be a guy who is a unanimous pick, but he won't be because 3 people will decide he shouldn't be or something.
Adrian Beltre just retired. He obviously doesn't go on the list for 5 years yet, but he's a no-brainer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at Scott Rowland's numbers, you compare him to other third basemen, I mean, there's no question he ought to be in. I think Mussina ought to be in with his 270 wins.
We agree on Mussina. All right.
Jeff Kent's another one I don't think gets enough.
I have mixed feelings about
support.
that.
377 homers, 290. I think
For a second baseman.
I think Billy Wagner's a no-brainer too. But
Yeah.
we got to run, guys. Appreciate it. I'll see you at Powerbomb.
I will be
Wrestling.
there
Based on that schedule, I might be there.
Marty, he doesn't like fun. All right, it's Saturday Night Live coming to you right next. Powerbomb Wrestling on TV coming to you right at 2 a.m. You can't catch it DVR. You can't do that. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll see you at St. Clemens Hall for the big live event tomorrow at 5 o'clock. See you next week. A Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.